Apparently earlier today, Marjorie Greene got into an incident with new Representative Cori Bush that Marjorie Greene believes her video is somehow a vindication for her. But here is how it began. Cori Bush put out a tweet saying, a maskless Marjorie Taylor Greene and her staff berated me in a hallway. She targeted me and others on social media. I'm moving my office away from hers for my team's safety. I've called for the expulsion of members who incited the insurrection from day one. And she wants that to be brought to a vote. And by the way, what she was saying is 100% true. Her room assignment was actually changed. Nancy Pelosi has confirmed that to get her away from Marjorie Greene, which makes sense to me. Marjorie Greene seems like all she wants in life is to infect people with COVID. So I wouldn't want me or my staff to be near her either. Now, it's not as simple as that, because then Marjorie Greene put out a tweet saying, Cori Bush is the leader of the St. Louis Black Lives Matter terrorist mob who trespassed into a gated neighborhood to threaten the lives of the McCloskeys. Now, she just throws out that name randomly because everyone who likes her is gonna know what that is. But in case you're watching this and you don't know, that's the two rich people who stood on their porch with guns and threatened to murder people who were marching somewhat nearby. They think of those people as, wow, that was fast. They think of those two individuals who were desperate to start shooting people in that crowd as heroes of a sort, and she thinks that they are. Yeah, look at that. You could see how much their life was in danger at that point. Anyway, she has a video of this interaction, and I want us to go to that video and see what we can learn from it.
A bunch of bad people do, or a small amount actually, do a really bad thing, attack the Capitol, which I denounce and completely am against and don't agree with the violence. But yet Democrats who cheered on, supported, called peaceful protests, Antifa BLM riots, the entire year long, that caused billions of dollars worth of damage, attacked American businesses, burned down Minneapolis. Let's see, what else did they do? Then they supported bail bond links for criminals. You know what? Yeah, don't yell at people. You know what? You shouldn't bring COVID positive members in here, spreading COVID everywhere. Stop being a hypocrite. Yeah, this is how it is here now. This is how it is. Stop being a hypocrite. This is arguing with my Democrat colleagues, supposed colleagues. That's how it is. It's how it is now in America. So you're witnessing exactly what we're having to live through.
Okay, so that congresswoman who is, as her mask points out, censored. The video goes out to God only knows how many people. She's on the media all the time and everything. But anyway, okay, so I don't know who actually asked her to put on her mask. I would say that person has a point because she wasn't wearing her mask. But anyway, she seems to think that this proves that Cori Bush was wrong somehow. Like, she's tweeted like 30 times about it since then. But anyway, what do you both think about this? About Cori Bush asking for her like sort of room assignment to be changed? Rashad, what are your thoughts?
I think she showed up on day one, acted like a jaded ex-girlfriend. She has been stalking people, chasing people. She has created such insanity around her tweets that members of Congress are literally unsafe. And she just got there. If we've learned anything, here's what we have learned. It gets more emboldened. She doesn't settle in. She doesn't mellow out. She gets more extreme. So here's the question that members of her own party need to grapple with. What she is today, she will be 100 times more of it next year. Is that what you want your party to be defined by? I'm really trying to appeal to the few sensible Republicans left in the regime of the Trump dynasty. Is this who you want to become your public narrative and your public champion? Because if you do, if you keep allowing these individuals to define you, you will be no more. And I'm actually okay with the little push and pull in the political struggle. I'm okay with that. I like that. But what we have now is evil versus good. not ideology versus ideology.
John, I think that we have seen what happens when we allow controversy to be hustled for profit. What we end up seeing is that you are now toying with forces that you cannot control. When we saw the rhetoric that began with Donald Trump, and that began with his sort of online and public bullying of different groups, a lot of people stood by and let it happen. And the culmination of that was what we all witnessed on January 6th. And so I think Rashad is absolutely right. I think there is a legitimate question as to, given what we have already seen, given what we already know as around what can happen when these things are left unchecked and unfettered, are you willing to risk it again and make it go worse? Just so you can have an alternative in your mind to AOC on your side? Is it worth that to you, given the potential consequences? And do you want to be associated with that? I think that's a real question. The other thing that I want to say about this specific incident and your question regarding Cori Bush, John, I want you to think about something. Given the fact that Cori Bush has been as active and engaged with BLM as an organization and as essentially a political party as she has, do you not think that that woman is justified in caring for her own safety? This is not the first time that she has been under attack, both physically as well as psychologically, from people who would seek to do her harm or want her to fail. And so I have every reason to support that Black woman from the standpoint of, regardless of her ideology, what we know for sure and what we can agree on is that she did not wake up with this woman being the first person to try and terrorize or intimidate her. And because of that, given where she is, given what she's done, and given where she's come from, we know that in order for her to have said publicly in the way that she did, I don't feel safe, this is a genuine feeling that comes from a real place, from someone who knows what it is to feel unsafe. And I think that given that and putting that in the proper context, we have to give her the support that she needs, just regardless of her ideology, just from the standpoint of knowing that this for her is a very real and very dangerous and scary threat.
Yeah, and this is, right now. Not to say that Fox hasn't already demonized her, because as you point out, her activist work, but we know what the last 2 years have been like for Representative Ocasio-Cortez and Representative Omar and Representative Tlaib and Diana Pressley as well. Like, Fox has, they know what their audience wants, and their audience wants to be worked into a fervor to hate Black and brown women. That's what they want. They love that. They get off on that. And Cori Bush is unabashed and outspoken. And so I know that she has got to be so worried about, I doubt she puts a lot of thought into it, but Laura Ingraham is gonna be demonizing her on a daily basis, and Sean Hannity is gonna be, and Tucker Carlson's gonna be doing whole monologues about how she's evil and she's gonna come with a pack of people with guns down the street and everything. And so she's already, I'm sure, facing tons of threats, and it's only gonna get worse from here. Having a person like that literally passing you in the hallway every day, voting on the floor next to you, somehow seems even more perverse.
I would agree. I mean, as someone who worked on Capitol Hill, I would marvel, and this was, easily 20 years ago, I would marvel at the way that different representatives from different sides and different members of Congress could have these fiery, passionate debates on the floor and then walk out and sort of laugh and eat in the cafeteria together and walk down the hall and see each other and ask about each other's kids. It didn't make sense to me at the time, but I respected it as I became someone who was familiar with it and understood it. Those days are far and long gone. And what we are seeing is our government, our Congress, our legislative body on a federal level, in the most extreme of circumstances, turn into something reminiscent of the chaos that we have witnessed in British Parliament, over the years. That's we're about a step and a half away from that. And I think because of the fact that we are not in a space that respects civil debate of differing opinions, I think that when you look at and consider, like you said, some of the right-wing media outlets that sort of fuel the crazy on the other side and how much vitriol they help stoke, Cori Bush is exactly right in terms of her being concerned for her safety. Because even if it doesn't come from a member of Congress, there are all kinds of folks who come in and out of DC that seek to do people harm because they're charged up on the haterade that has been served to them from Fox News. And that's a real thing that they have to be mindful of. And so I do wish her safety, and I hope that, that she's able to navigate her space in a way that allows her to do her job without sort of being overly concerned about her safety and security.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.